Welcome. My name is Debbie Romero, Psychic Medium. Welcome to Inspire. Today we have my girl Sabrina Vanstock from I want to say Chicago area. It's so exciting to have her here as we open up the platform for the collective while we discuss the Oracle within. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited. Sabrina, welcome to the show. Introduce yourself.
Thank you, Debbie. It's wonderful to be here. Hi, everybody. My name is Sabrina von Stock. I'm a psychic medium and also energy healer. And I'm excited to talk about today's subject, hon.
I'm excited to have you here. For those who that don't know about your journey, I love that you say oracle reader, energy worker. What else have you done within your journey that you want the collective to know about you? Like, tell us some more. Spill the tea, girl. Spill the tea on you.
Absolutely. Okay, yeah. So I've always had the gifting since I was a child. So I could hear and connect with spirit as a child, and I think I'm sure a lot of your listeners have had that experience. And I just wanted to say that this is stuff that is important to bring up because I know when I was younger, I didn't quite understand it. But I think as we talk about these subjects more and more, it's becoming like, okay, people can understand it. Um, I, for many years, was on a journey of discovery, especially with my abilities. And it only came to pass when I moved to Los Angeles in the early 2000s. So I spent a lot of time out there. I did pursue acting. I got into stunt work. But in 2014 is when I really began my journey with spirit and connected with some wonderful psychic mediums. I wanted to study it and I did for several years of what is this? Why do I get spirit speaking to me in my dreams, in my waking life? And that's where I discovered myself more in development. Um, I have to back it up because in 2012 or 2011, my mother passed away, and I was there that
Mm.
night. The next morning, when I was clearing out her area and packing up things, I heard her. She immediately said, "I'm good. I'm healthy now. I can walk," because she was bedridden for a year. And I heard her in my mind's eye, in my head, and I was just like looking around the room because I could visually see her walking around the room. And I was like, man, so I had never missed anybody. Like when growing up, I mean, yes, I would pick up on somebody's grandmother or grandfather or mother in spirit, but I never hit home until my mother passed away. And
Mm.
that was the first, um, uh, sorry, lack of a better word, that was my first discovery of this in a different way with
Yeah.
spirit, connecting with spirit. When my own loved one, who I loved dearly, who I
Hmm.
missed dearly, she was my best friend. She was like, we even looked alike. When she passed and started speaking to me, then I'm like, wow, I'm really getting this. I'm really connecting. And then that year or 2 years later, I met some wonderful spiritualists that helped me develop that even more. But that's when it really hit home was in 2011 because I could see and hear her walking around the apartment, and I had to say to her, I said, "Mom, no, you passed away last night." And then I didn't. Then it was like I didn't hear from her
Mm.
until another time. But it was almost like this discovery. It was
Yeah.
a lot to unpack. Let me tell you. You know.
Yeah, it really is very different when we are processing grief with someone that is very close to us within our, like a mother. It's a sacred, right, and journey that you are witnessing as she journeys within the spirit world. Um,
Yes.
it is, you know, like when you see her walking and moving through the home, and it's
Hmm.
like nothing. It's very surreal. It's a different feeling. I understand that, Sabrina,
You do.
wholeheartedly. Hmm.
Oh,
Yeah, my mom did that
yes.
to me. And she lived with me briefly, and I saw her get up, go to the restroom, and she looked so vibrant, full of life,
Yes.
and so different. So I know that shocking feeling that comes with your own connection to mom. And I
Yes.
love how you taken time to develop. You said you chose to work with others, to learn, to understand why spirit is talking to you. Which
Yes.
leads me to, that the oracle within, you're learning to trust your intuition. You're learning to trust another mentor, a teacher, a felicitator to hold space from their perspective. And then you got to witness your own intuition with your own loved ones. It's a journey definitely you've been on. And girl, the stunt woman, oh my God, let me not mess with you. I'm talking about, I can see you doing some wrestling moves and knocking some people out, girl. Tell me what the stunt moves were.
Well, that was early 2000. So I moved to LA in 2001-ish to pursue acting because I did a lot of acting in Chicago. I'm from this area,
Mm.
and I always wanted to go to LA and see what I could, do out there. It's funny, you have these visions of grandeur of what's
Yeah.
going to happen. Then you get to LA, and it's like the reality of LA and how huge it is. Because I came from a small town, and
Yeah.
but I'm glad I did it. But it was like um, just the freeway alone scared me,
Yes.
And what's funny? I brought my mother out because she had retired, and I said, "Do you want to go to LA with me?" And she said, "Yes, I'd love to try." She wanted to see a new adventure or try something new. So
Aw.
I had her by my side. That's how close we were, So
Yeah.
again, she was always supportive. So I started doing, so we got an apartment, and I immediately got an agent. And so I was going out and auditioning. But what was interesting is I would do background work. So background work is you're those extras in the background in movies and TV shows. And I was working on this show, a little show called Mr. and Mrs. Smith with Brad
Oh,
Pitt and
yes. I
Angelina
remember
Jolie.
them. Uh-huh. There you
Yeah.
go. Get it.
And I met a stuntman and slash actor on that show because I had been on that movie because I had been working on it for several weeks.
Yeah.
And I was getting familiar with the stunt work because when I met David,
Yeah.
he introduced me to that world.
Yeah.
And you really do, I hate to say it, in LA, you do have to know people
You
to
do.
connect you to these things.
Mm-hmm.
So he got me into that. And that was the last thing on my mind, by the way. So
Yeah.
that's how life is. And I think a lot of your, oh, we got a little baby dog in the
Yeah.
background.
He's
That's
validating.
yeah, he is. That's it's confirmation bark. You really need to have an open mind to these things, especially in the creative field. So he connected me with coordinators. So I got into the union by doing a Capital One commercial. They dangled me from 3 stories. I didn't really have. I mean, I guess I had a natural talent for it because I wasn't afraid of heights, and that's what kind of got me into that. Doing they call it wire work. From there, David was like, I started doubling actresses. So I doubled Kate Walsh. She was from Private Practice and
Yeah.
that, and Rebecca Mader. She was an up and coming actress, Joanna Cassidy. I played the younger version of her. And she was in Bullet with Steve McQueen. So I resembled a lot of actresses. A lot of people say I resemble Nicole Kidman. I never doubled for her, but
Yeah.
anybody that had red hair, they would put me in because, yeah, I was flexible like that.
That is so
But
cool.
yeah,
So cool. I remember doing a
yeah,
project and I was sitting down, and I think what comes to my mind when you were saying this, you have to stay poised in certain positions when you're filming, right? Like you
yes,
can't break character. So you're filming, and then I have two friends and they're creating this like effect of like spirit moving around me, like you know. And so they keep running and pacing in circles and going around the table. And I'm trying so hard not to laugh for the picture. It's a photo shoot. So it was like, oh my God, this is the stuff that happens behind the scenes, you know? So
Exactly.
when you're in that moment, it's so fun. I mean, I could see the light within you just vibrate. And, you know, as you touch into that intuition of like, oh my gosh, I'm coming to LA, I'm trusting the process, and you're really unfolding this mission that you
Yes.
went on. So congratulations, Sabrina, for excelling in an area that you took a leap of faith on for you.
I thank you, Debbie. Yeah, and I encourage everybody, if it's on your heart, if it's on your mind, something that you want to do, just do it, you guys. Just set aside those thoughts of like, what if it doesn't work out? What if it does? You know, so spirit puts this on our body, mind, and spirit to do these things.
Yeah, it
Everybody
did.
thought I was crazy moving to LA from the Midwest because why would you want to move, you know? So
Mm.
I had to. It was on my heart for many years leading up to that. I didn't wake up one day and say I'm moving to LA. This was a process, you know. So
It
um,
usually is, right?
yeah, it really is.
I like
And
the
who
way
knew that it opened the door to other things?
right.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, no, but
Yeah.
you said it opened the door. You met David, you met all these beautiful people,
Yes.
and you're in this amazing energy. You're creating, you're really in the flow. And, you know, I think there's so much beauty in that and trusting. And so this is going to take us to the topic that we came in today of
Okay.
trusting our intuition and trusting the
Yes.
unfoldment and also creating the behaviors that are required to change to take us into that action. And I feel like you did it, girl. You led, you followed your heart, it led you. You said, Mom, my support is coming with me, and you did it. So you're a proven example of what it means to follow your intuition. And there's many layers that you just shared with us into your journey of how you got the nudge. It was a process. You were there was some hesitations, but you did it anyways, and spirit unfolded the journey for you. So I love that that happened. And I want to talk about the oracle within, and your story is a perfect example. So, girl, you need to create some oracle decks of your own story so you can have
Yeah.
your own pictures. And so, for the listeners today, we're going to talk about oracle. Sabrina does do oracle readings online. She does collective messages. She's a medium. She channels. She's an energy worker. And I want to dive into this with you, Sabrina, if you don't mind. Can we
You
like
bet.
let's do
Love
it?
it.
So
Yeah.
I was told by my own intuition to like let's read the meaning of it. So I pulled up
Okay.
ChatGPT, girl. You know me. Let me
Yes,
do
our
it.
friend.
Let's
Yeah.
do it. It says an oracle reader is someone who uses oracle cards as a reflective or spiritual tool. There's that word tool, right? To offer guidance, insight, and encouragement. Unlike tarot, oracle decks do not follow one standardized structure. Each deck has its own artwork, theme, message created by its author. It will help you reflect on a current situation, a life challenge, offer guidance about relationships, careers, personal growth, spiritual development, encourages you with self awareness and intuition. Using the cards, you can practice with meditation, journaling, prayer, energy work, depending on your approach. Many people view oracle readings as a way to gain perspective rather than a method of predicting a fixed future. The message is often interpreted as an invitation to reflect your own current path or choices available to you. Isn't that beautiful?
It is. It's well said. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
And I think,
It's a,
go ahead, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I think of it as, again, a deviation tool is what
Mhm.
oracle cards are, tarot cards, things of that nature. They can be really beautiful. There's so many kinds of oracle cards that you can choose
Mhm.
from something very lighthearted, which I love, just something light and interesting, to they can go kind of dark, they can go,
Mhm.
but it's a range, isn't it?
Yeah.
I have a favorite oracle deck I'm playing with, and I do it on my TikToks that I enjoy because I tend to, it's what you connect with. It depends. Not all oracle cards you're like, yeah, I love it. It's what you gravitate towards. It could be the
Yeah.
colors, it could be the meanings, you know.
Yeah.
So,
Have you
yeah,
ever touched an oracle deck and you could feel the creator's energy in it? Like, oh my God, they were in some space when they were making this, or like, oh wow. Can you feel that?
yes. Yeah, oh, absolutely. I did a reading for a lady that I met on TikTok,
Uh-huh.
and and we did, my readings are private. We do on Zoom. I don't use cards during my personal readings, but she said at the end of her, after we talked, she said, I would love to send you my daughter's Oracle deck. And I said, oh my gosh, your daughter does decks? And she says, yes. And within a few days, she sent me this beautiful deck of Oracle cards. And I saw the picture of her daughter, and I could feel it in her energy. It was so beautiful, these cards, and it's just about like tuning into how you're feeling. It was a really beautiful deck. She created it for her own, help to kind of
Yeah.
identify what she's thinking and feeling. And I could feel that in the deck. It really lovely, really special cards.
My dog loves you,
So
girl. Yeah.
confirmation bark.
Well, my dog loves to sit in the Reiki when we receive Reiki energy. He's my energy doggy for sure. So he knows spirit. My dog is my cue. So
Yes,
he really
animals
is.
are beautiful that way. I love to
Mhm.
include animals in whatever I do. So, yeah, they're just giving feedback because
Yeah,
they're
he
into it.
really is. He really
Yeah.
is. But I really do love that you say that, like, because that's the psychic in you, the psychometry that we're picking up on. I mean, we can really unfold this when we are doing oracle readings. Um, I've seen you read without the cards when you're channeling, and then I see you with the cards when you're working with the collective. And you have a beautiful flow and how you're very straight to the point. You tell them, and that's what the world needs. Is like, let's not sugarcoat nothing. And there's kindness in it, there's fun in it, but it's also
Yeah.
like, let me give you my perspective. Has anybody ever said, oh my God, Sabrina, what does that mean? And do you have to like unfold it more? Or like, have you ran into something where it just was like never ending card pulling? Tell me, what girl, how do you handle that?
Well, I haven't come across that, thankfully. Because I do really, I am very direct. Because you know why?
You
Because I
are.
want, I want somebody to be direct with me when I've
Yeah.
had readings done. I haven't had a reading done on me in a while, but I would appreciate the directness because I think people need that. That's how I would want my information is just sort of direct. I do it in a really soft way.
You
I
do.
don't like to trigger people because I feel I only do it because it's the way I would want to be read for. So
Right.
that's why I do it for the collective. And I get a lot of really beautiful feedback, or a lot of people say it resonates. Sometimes I get a question and I can answer it, but most of the time it's like they really can pick up what I'm putting down.
Right.
So, especially doing the TikToks, doing collective readings, that was a big stretch for me because I'm used to just doing private readings, like something we're
Yeah.
doing right now, like that would be my reading, like on a Zoom call or
Mm.
whatever. But I had to stretch my ability to do like collective readings because thousands of people are seeing my TikToks. So I
Yeah.
always ask Spirit, what deck should I use? Lately, it's been this
Yeah.
little yin yang. But again, I always get like an overflow from spirit about what to say. And then I always find that the cards correlate with what I'm saying. So I'll say something and then I'll pull a card and it's like, that's exactly like this card says self-care. So
Yes.
it's sort of like, it's just the cards just mirror what I'm saying. And that's what's so cool about it. Or I can do it either way. But I love the flexibility of cards, especially with TikTok, because I'm talking to thousands and maybe millions of
I
people.
know. And
So when I get the
I'm
feedback, it's like, okay, cool. I was tapping into the right energy, you
and
know?
you are. I wait for you to pull the last card. The one that stands out to me all the time is like, you have it like hidden. Okay, let's see what's on the bottom of the deck.
I
I
love
love
bottom of
that.
the deck.
I
You'll
love the
see me
bottom
do
of the
that.
deck pull. I'm like, what's the bottom of the deck pull saying, girl? Tell a girl.
So that means the overall energy. Bottom of the deck, I always love it because it's like, okay, what is it? Because I consider myself also a detective of energy. It's like, what are we going for? What's the mystery?
Yeah.
Let's solve the mystery. And I always get, and that was bottom of the deck with self-care. So a lot of that is energy. Yeah, it's about,
Yes.
maybe we need a little self-care, but
Absolutely.
yeah,
Self-care is a big one for me. Self-love, self-care,
yes.
self-worth, and reflecting on that. It's huge. You use the word, or I heard you say, um, I haven't had a reading in a while. Um, and it took me to the word trust. How can you trust, and how do you find a reader to bring a reading for you? What brings that trust and that I can work with that person energy? What do you look for in a reader?
Well, plain and simple, do I like you? That's me. I'm pretty basic. It's like Debbie, I would love a reading from you, because I love
Yes.
you. I love your vibe and
Thank
energy,
you.
and it's really about that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because, I think I mean, our listeners, I think you all have wonderful intuitive um, cognitive abilities. So when you like somebody, when you don't like somebody. And it's
Right.
right off the top, like right in that first minute of interacting, it's like, okay, or yeah, I really love this person. So yes, I would trust you to read my energy because I have to say I try and keep my energy pretty cloaked because
Yeah.
I don't want everybody messing with my energy. And I think,
Yeah. It's so true. There's so
yeah,
many people that they don't realize and they don't do it on purpose. I feel like right now,
they don't.
psychically, they don't do it on
Yeah,
purpose. But people who are very attuned and sensitive, like us, right? One
yes.
eye look, side look, we feel it. like,
Yes, we do.
like,
And
wait
we
a
feel it
minute.
when you're not in the room.
Yeah, I'm like, you side looked my picture, like, ugh. So we feel that.
Yes,
And then we could feel the joy and the support also. So we're like, oh, there you go, girl. I like you. So the energy does not lie. So I think that's important. So we look for energy. Do I like you? Can I mesh with
yes,
you? Can I share my space with you? It's like, can I sit and have coffee with you without you spilling your coffee on me? Like, let's do this, right? And it's
exactly.
also like, how accurate are they? Like, is it,
Yes,
you look when you're looking for someone, what's their accuracy? What's their reviews? I think for me, Sabrina, I'm like you. I, if I like you and you got a good vibe, like, girl, show me what you got. Or like, dude, let's do
exactly.
it. And it becomes fun, right? It becomes fun.
Yes,
It's addicting too, right? Like when I first started, I'm like, oh my God, I'm gonna go get read. I'm gonna go see what they want to say. What do they feel with my energy? So like it becomes addicting.
it does. It
Mm-hmm.
can be,
Mm-hmm.
but I always get it's a level of trust, isn't it? I
Yes.
have to trust you. I have to let my defenses down and let you read me, you know?
Yeah.
Um, I've gotten in the past, just people I've met, it's like, funny, I can't read you. And I'm like, I know.
Ooh, snap. That happens a lot. But they get a kick out of it because it's almost like they're testing you. It's like, I know I'm
Yes,
cloaked and I know you can't read me. I have my barriers on or my shields on. And I'm like, when I get those, I give it a minute because it's still a minute for me that's a good testing when you're starting, right? When you know you can't read somebody. And I have a perfect example of that. I was doing a ghost tour, right? And you go
oh,
in and
wow.
you got a lot of different people with different belief systems. And I'm like, I don't want no one touching me or reading me or no spirits touching me. Stay away, right? They're going in, but they're afraid, right? They're going in. And I said, okay. So I go in, the REM pod's going off and I was reading the room and the one lady, I had a message for her. However, her energy said, don't read me.
Yes.
But she wanted the message. I said, out of respect to whatever your prayer was before coming here, I'm not going to give you the read. And so I
Wow.
knew that there was a prayer. And that's where we
Yes.
also want to know, like when you book a reading and you really want it unfolded, you have to be able to let your guard down. So if you're paying or
Yes.
you're coming in, this is important to truly get the energies to flow in a beautiful way. I have to trust you to read me. And I use the word addicting going back because with so many readers, and they really want to, it's almost like a game in the ego, right? I want to see how right you are.
Yes.
I want to see, and I go back from years of watching people work myself, of how I felt, and like it's intriguing. You get all in the mystical of the energies, but then you learn to be mature about it. So if you really are in this work of TikTok and you're out there, and there's so many of us, have a mature approach, because you're taking time away from the reader, and the reader's holding space to
Yes.
for the collective, and a divine sacred space in the way that you work. And there's integrity in that. And I think it should give an insight and a perspective of how one can change to get to the leap of faith of celebration, of congratulations, girl, you made the changes, you made the shift, you've changed into transformation. What do you think about that, Sabrina, of how someone would block you, or they don't want you to read them? Like, have you come across that for you?
Yes, I have many times. A lot of it is they want to challenge me. I had one lady in
Yeah.
particular. This is when I was doing readings from my home, of course, pre-pandemic, and I'd have, this is when I lived in Los Angeles, and I had my apartment, and I would have people come over, which, by the way, is exhausting.
Yeah.
So I had this one lady come over, and it was a gift from her daughter, and her husband had passed like a year
Oh,
prior. So she thought this would help her mother. And I understand the mediumship can bring so much healing to people if they're ready for it, if they're understanding and open. And she came over, and it was almost like she was going to prove me wrong. She was challenging me in my
yeah.
own home. And
Yes.
so she came in, and I, of course, please come in, have a seat. And I started getting her husband in spirit. And it was just like her arms were crossed.
Ooh,
She was just like, just defiant. And I was thinking, why are you here then? You
yeah.
know, I'm not here to ruin your day. You came to me. And then
Yeah.
it was almost like she was everything I said, even the trips they took. I gave her such evidence, and it was a no. She just said no because I don't know, she didn't like me, and she just wasn't feeling me, and it was just so defiant that she's like, "No, this doesn't. I don't understand this." And I'm like, "Then
Yeah.
obviously you're not ready for this."
Right.
But yeah, it was wild. Rarely does this happen now, but
Hmm.
it was almost like you're a joke. And it was
Yeah.
just like, okay, because I had read for her daughter,
Yeah.
that's why she came to me, because I read for the daughter. But some people come with a big chip on their shoulder, or I think a lot of that anger was grief. And how
Yeah.
dare you read my husband that I loved for many years, and you're able
Yes.
to speak to him, and I'm not. And
Ooh,
that's how
that's a
what I
big
came
one.
across. Yeah, it really was. I didn't take it personally. At first, I was a bit offended, but then I realized, you know what? And spirit, this is all spirit speaking to me. Like, she's upset that you can speak to him, and you were able to get information, and she just has not. She even told me, I can't feel him. I don't dream about him. You
Mm.
know, there was a lot of, but yet here I was able to do it. And I think that caused a lot of, well, first I get was jealousy, and anger, like, who's
Hmm.
this person able to do it?
Yeah, that
Yeah.
happens a lot,
So,
Sabrina. So I really love that we're having this conversation. I do,
yeah,
because when you're looking, if you're a listener and you're looking for a read,
yeah,
I would pause. I would suggest pause to see where your grief is at. A lot of times you
yes,
won't remember, even if it's a mediumship read. Um, Psychic readings, there's grief. When you're looking for a psychic reading, when it comes to a perspective of whether Sabrina or myself are holding space from the energies from our point of view, the reason that they're asking is because they're questioning. There's a worry, there's a doubt, there's a something that clarity is needing to be brought forward. So if you are diving in to book a session or watching you on your live, I say come with an open mind, an open heart, an open spirit, and really reflect before asking your question. How
yes,
What can I learn today that will give me an opportunity to shift something within me to progression of a better opportunity or a better outcome? And I think that we lost that somewhere because it became fun and let me see what they got and who is she and let me challenge her. And I say, there's some, I'm not going to say everyone is that way
No,
because some
no, they're
people,
not.
they're not. But the ones that are in that state, if you are trying to challenge,
Hmm.
if you have that thought, don't book the session.
Save your
Take
money.
save your
Yeah.
money. Give your yeah, it's not fun.
Mm-mm.
It becomes a mess and then you get discouraged and then you lose the trust of where to go
Yeah.
next. And so I say everything is energy, Sabrina, and I feel like you've held a beautiful torch on your side of the world on TikTok for the light of truth, respect, and directness there, and love and healing for your thousands of collective members that are following. And I wake up to you and I wait to see who's posting. I kind of get the rhythm and the patterns of what days it comes on. Like certain people read
Oh,
on certain days, and so I'm like, oh. So Sabrina, when you are now doing collective readings for TikTok, what is your thought of the collective today? If we were to ask for you to, you don't have to pull a card, but if you want to leave us with the collective message, I would love to hear it if you're open to giving us one.
sure. You know, as I'm tapping into that, like just now when you asked me that question, like what should I say? I get the word hope. I think I want to bring a message of hope when I do collective readings. Um, that especially in the of especially in the matters of the heart, maybe needing some hope, needing some insight, and usually it's like what I always tap in before I do a TikTok and I ask Spirit, what can I bring to the collective?
Oh,
And sometimes
yes.
it's something fun and lighthearted, like who's thinking about you? You know, I know a
Yeah.
lot, I get a lot of people love that, who's thinking about you, because most of the time, even though we live in this wonderful age of communication and using our phones and we can easily connect, like you're in California, I'm in Illinois, and here we can do this wonderful podcast so quickly. But most of the time people are very disconnected, or they
Yeah.
just don't have the hope. So
Yeah.
I always want to bring a message of light and insight, that all is well. I know lately when I've done collective readings, I get the past 6 months has been really difficult for the collective in general.
Hmm.
And I get it in finances or in relationships. So,
Yeah.
but that's something that I wanted to, I feel that there's going to be a huge uptick in that in the next half of the year. This
Yeah.
next half of the year is going to be amazing for a lot of people that have been on the struggle bus, that have been just, you know, um, wondering, when is my time going to come? When am I going to meet that person?
Yeah.
When am I going to get that job I've been looking for? And by the way, the job market has been really bad. I've been consulting a lot of people regarding jobs and
Yeah.
finding that next opportunity. So I always love to bring that message of it's going to get better. Truly, I feel that in my body, mind, and spirit. So that's something I wanted to share with everybody that can hear my voice, that, whatever you're thinking and feeling, and maybe it's not so great, it will. Sometimes our thoughts are not our friends. That's another phrase I use a
Yeah.
lot. But
Yeah.
hang in there, have hope, but also lean on that Holy Spirit. Lean on the things that you cannot see. When we go through these things, it's struggle or issues with relationships or finances. It means we have to turn within and lean on the higher power, and it could be whatever your higher power is. Lean
Hmm.
on it. Truly, they're hearing you, but we have to take that time to do
Yeah.
that. And you can do it in your car while you're driving, while you're listening to this podcast. Maybe afterwards, you can just say, okay, Spirit, I've got to tap in and just, I need some advice. I need a miracle or I need a sign, you know? So that's what
Sabrina,
I try and bring.
you're so psychic because I was gonna ask what you do, and you're like on it. And look at you. So
Oh,
you
yeah,
do your prayer. You're in there in the car. Ask collective, ask divine. What a beautiful collective message, and what a beautiful way to say go within. Because
yes.
so for someone who wants to start tapping in and pulling your own oracle cards, go within, buy your deck, talk
Yeah,
to the
buy your deck, whatever
divine.
your fancy. Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
you know, decks should be fun to own and, you know, I'm going to develop my own deck. I'm sort of in the process of that, but that'll be more wording like, you know, it won't be pictures, it'll just be more words like, you know, yes or no or you know, just maybe tomorrow, you know, moments like that. I'm still developing it, but since I've been using decks this past year heavily, I decided to do my own because I've gotten some wonderful ideas from it. But truly, you know,
congratulations.
oh,
Yeah,
thanks. Thank you.
yeah. Sabrina, it's been an honor and a privilege having you as a guest on Inspire today. And our listeners are going to learn so much from you. And you guys, don't forget to follow her. She's on Tickety Talk.
I'm
What's
on
your
TikTok.
handle? What's your handle on TikTok?
Sure, Sabrina Psychic Medium. That's
And
all, and all one word, Sabrina Psychic Medium. And if you want to book a reading, I do
yes,
private readings. It's sabrinapsychicmedium.com. So I have a
there you go.
website. Yeah, so it's
And
all
it'll
one
be on my
word.
link, y'all. Give her a follow, book your session. And she does house blessings. She does energy work. Like we can make some changes in those card deck outcomes. Let me tell you.
Yes.
So, Sabrina, I appreciate you being here as a guest, you guys. Until next time, have a beautiful day. Take care and much love.
Thank
Bye.
you, Debbie.
You're
Goodbye.
welcome.